I don't usually stay long at parties. I'm the friend who keeps an eye on everyone's phone, drink, and ride home. People call it controlling. I call it not repeating the mistake I made last year when I assumed no one else was watching. The house on Maple looked like every other off-campus rental. String lights sagging, music thudding through the siding, porch stuffed with people vaping, laughing, pretending not to shiver. I came because Jess asked, and because midterms hollowed us all out. A few hours of noise felt easier than the quiet. Inside, the living room pressed against me. Bass rolled through the soft spots in the floor. Someone I didn't know acted like a DJ off a laptop on milk crates. The song had a late summer optimism to it that felt almost sarcastic in October. Just disappeared toward the kitchen to find our friends. I stayed in the living room, scanning. I do that. I check exits. I note faces I don't recognize. A guy with a fade haircut laughed too loud. A couple argued near the staircase in a whisper that looked like a smile. And then I noticed him. He stood at the base of the stairs, not dancing, not drinking. He wore a gray hoodie under a denim jacket, the kind of layers that always look neutral. He wasn't guarding the stairs exactly, more like filtering who went up. He'd lean forward, friendly, say something quick, and people either smiled and turned back or gave him a nod and went up. I told myself he was just a host trying to keep bedrooms from becoming coat closets. Normal. Thoughtful. Except he didn't look at faces when he spoke. He watched hands. It took me a minute to figure out why that bothered me. The kitchen was a bottleneck. 2 folding tables became a bar. Bottles, mixers, a stack of red and blue cups. Beside them, 2 Sharpies. Someone had drawn little circles on the rims of a few cups. 1 dot, 2 dots, a tiny triangle. A labeling system maybe, or just bored hands. I pushed it aside and found Jess by the sink. Elbows on laminate, phone open to a playlist request she'd never get fulfilled. "You good?" I asked. "I'm fine," she said, smiling with her teeth tired under her eyes. She nodded toward the hallway. "Bathroom's upstairs. Down here's broken." "How do you know?" "Hoodie guy told me." She lifted her cup, took a small sip. "He's like a traffic cone with eyebrows." I laughed and let it go, but my eyes kept drifting. The hallway to the stairs had a patch of light that didn't belong to any bulb. It came in pulses like the glow of a phone face down, lighting up with notifications. I leaned, trying to see source, but the bodies kept flowing. A cheer rose from the living room. The song changed. Jess's hand found my sleeve. "Let's say hi to Danielle," she said. We leaned through the crowd, and I watched Gray Hoodie greet a group, then let only 2 of them pass. His eyes flicked down each time to the cups, to the symbols on the rims. 1 dot went up. No dots turned away. 2 dots? I hadn't seen 2 dots go anywhere yet. I told myself I was imagining patterns. Humans love patterns. It makes us feel safe. I told myself that out loud in my head. When I finally moved toward the stairs, a hand slid in front of me. Denim sleeve. A friendly block. "Upstairs is just for bathrooms?" he said, smiling. Up close, his eyes weren't unfriendly. He looked like the guy who always refills the Brita without being asked. "Bathroom," I said, lifting my cup. No dot. He glanced at the rim, quick flick, then at my face. The smile returned, laminated. "All good," he said, stepping aside. I went up halfway and paused, letting people squeeze around me. The hallway above hummed with the white noise of doors opening and closing. I didn't need the bathroom. I needed to see. Behind me, Denim moved back to his spot. On the stairs, someone bumped my hip and apologized without looking. Their cup had two dots drawn near the rim. Small, like a code you're not supposed to notice. I turned my head and watched them continue up, swaying, laughing too easily. Denim didn't stop them. He didn't even look up. But his hand tightened for a second on the banister, the tendons showing white. I didn't like that. I told myself again that I look for patterns, that sometimes I see them because I want to. When I came down, Jess was talking with a classmate near the couch. I slid next to her. What? She asked without looking. You see the dots on some cups? I said. People doodle, she said. You okay? I nodded, drank, and counted. 1 dot, 2 dots, no dots, triangle. I told myself I was being weird. That lasted maybe 3 minutes. A girl in an oversized flannel, Danielle's roommate, I realized, pushed through and said into Jess's ear, Have you seen Lena? Jess shook her head. Flannel girl bit her lip. She went upstairs to pee like 15 minutes ago. She looked at me like I might be the kind of person who holds solutions in pockets. I'll check, I said, already moving. Jess grabbed my wrist. Don't be weird, but she let go because she knows me. Upstairs, the air thinned. Music came through the floor instead of the walls, dull and heavy. I knocked on the bathroom door. No answer. A line of 3 waited politely a few minutes ago. Now the hallway was empty. I tried the handle, gentle, locked. I listened. A faucet drip. Nothing else. Across the hall, a bedroom door stood cracked, dark inside. I pushed it open with 2 fingers, like I didn't want to leave fingerprints. Empty. Messy bed, probably always messy. A desk with notebooks. A candle half melted into a coffee mug. The creak came from the far end of the hall, where the last door sat flush. That one I hadn't noticed. No label, no sign. I took a step. You lost? A voice asked behind me, light and easy. Gray hoodie had followed, hands in pockets like a security guard who didn't want to be a security guard. Up here, his smile looked thinner. Bathroom seems full, I said, nodding at the locked door. Downstairs toilet's broken, he said. This one's... It's stuck sometimes. I can jiggle it. He brushed past me without touching, keys appearing from nowhere. And in one neat motion, he knocked, said, occupied, then twisted a key in the bathroom knob like that was normal. The door opened to a small room with a sink and a toilet. Empty. See? He said like he'd won a tiny bet with himself. Thanks, I said. He turned to go back downstairs. He paused, eyes dropping, reflex more than choice, to my cup. No dot. His throat moved like he swallowed something he didn't want to taste. Then he nodded and left. I didn't use the bathroom. I stood there with the door open, watching the hallway, listening to the house breathe. I kept my eyes on the hallway. A girl with 2 dots on her cup shuffled past, head low, phone pressed to her cheek even though her screen was dark. She pushed open the last door at the end of the hall, the one flush with the wall, and slipped inside without knocking. The door closed soft. I counted to 3, then walked down and pressed my ear to it. Muffled voices. 1 male, 1 female. The female sounded like she was speaking through a pillow. I knocked. Silence fell inside like a dropped curtain. Then, after a breath, 1 sec, a male voice said, chipper and close to the door. Lena? I asked. The name felt heavy in my mouth. I didn't know if it was her. but I wanted him to think I did. A pause. Then footsteps approached the door. The door didn't open. The voice spoke through it. Wrong room? I nodded, even though he couldn't see me. Got it, I said. If you see Lena, tell her Jess is looking. Sure thing, he said, a smile stitched into the words. The footsteps retreated. I didn't move. I watched my hand tremble just a little. I told it to stop. It didn't listen. Quietly, I tried the handle. Locked. I looked at the trim around the door. Fresh paint, slightly different sheen than the other frames. A new lock plate. The tiniest gap where the strike didn't fit flush. I stepped back, took a breath so shallow it felt like a lie, and went downstairs to find Jess. Back in the kitchen, the rhythm had shifted. The backpack by the back door had tipped, a zipper half open. Inside, I saw what looked like a small portable label maker next to a handful of disposable plastic baggies and a roll of painter's tape. Someone could carry that for 100 reasons. None I liked. I found Jess near the freezer. Lena? I asked. She shook her head. I texted her. No read. What did she drink? Seltzers earlier, then someone made her a mixed. Why? Who made it? Hoodie guy, she said. He was doing bartender duty for a second. That could mean anything. That could be nothing. I looked down at a row of cups. Dots, dots, triangle, no dots. I picked up a Sharpie, ran it along the lip of a clean cup, paused, put it back down. My hands were steady now, which scared me more. Stay with Danielle, I said. If Lena texts, tell me right away. What's going on? Jess asked. I don't know, I said. I only know how it feels. Back at the stairs, Gray Hoodie was gone. A different guy stood there now. I went up before he could notice me. Outside the end door, I didn't knock. I spoke softly through the crack. Lena, it's me. We need to go. The silence stretched so long I wondered if I'd made it up. Then a chair leg scraped inside quick, like someone stood too fast. The male voice came back closer. I said wrong room. I kept my tone even. I don't think so. A breath. You're making a scene, he said. No one's watching, I said. Open the door, I added steady. We'll settle it downstairs. Go get the host, he said. This isn't. The host is downstairs trying to make sure this doesn't turn into a problem, I said. I'm trying to do the same. I heard the tiniest sound then. Not from him. From farther back in the room, a hiccup of air catching in a throat. Lena, can you say anything? Can you tell me yes? The silence felt like a wall. Then, barely there, a sound. Something inside me went calm. I'm opening the door, I said. No, you're not, he said, cheerful again, and then I heard the lock turn and reset. He was showing me he had control. It almost worked. My options were few: scream, kick, or corner him another way. Okay, I said. I'll get the host. Call campus security, the police. We can all have a conversation in the hallway. Or, and I think you'll prefer this, I can keep this private. Last chance. I took my phone out. I wasn't bluffing, but I wasn't calling yet. I angled the camera at the lock and frame, the dots on cups in my other hand, the hallway, my face. Upstairs, back room door with the new plate, I said, steady. I'm outside with 2 witnesses on the stairs. If it opens, we walk. If it doesn't, we call. The lock stayed quiet. The air turned heavy. Behind me, the top stair creaked. Everything good up here? Denim jacket asked closer now. We need this door open, I said. She's coming with us. He knocked once. Open it, he said, voice stripped of friendliness. Now. A pause, then the lock clicked. The door opened 8 inches. Lena, I said, eyes sliding past him. She stood near the bed, blinking, swaying. Her cup sat on the nightstand. 2 dots. The guy at the door had a close-cut, boringly trustworthy face. He put his palm on the edge of the door like he could hold the whole situation with 5 fingers. She's fine, he said. She asked to lie down. She can ask again in the hallway, I said. Let's go. You're overreacting. Maybe, I said. We'll overreact downstairs. I met his eyes. Open the door. Behind him, Lena's eyes tried to focus. I'm dizzy, she said. I nodded at Denham. He slid his foot into the gap. Move your foot, the guy said. Open the door, Denham repeated. She's my friend, the guy said. She's not, I said. He tried to close the door. Denham didn't move his foot. The hinge complained. Call, I said to Denham. He pulled out his phone. The guy's face changed. He took his hand off the door and stepped back. Fine, he said. Take her. I went in. Lena, I said, we're going. Her hand was cold. Up close, I saw the cup on the nightstand wasn't hers. It was blue, the dots neat, ink still sharp. I picked it up and sniffed. Citrus and something flat, like rain on concrete. I didn't drink it. My stomach tightened. Bag? I asked. She shook her head. I slipped my arm around her waist. We're done, I told him. You don't know what you're implying, he said. I know what I'm stopping, I said. You sound crazy. Maybe, I said. She's coming with me. If you touch her, the whole house hears. He didn't move. We slid past. In the hall, the floor moaned like it was relieved. Getting downstairs felt like carrying a lantern through a cave. People made space without knowing why. At the bottom, Jess appeared. Lena, she said, voice bright with relief and fear. We're leaving, I said. Now. Do you want me to get a ride? Denham asked. I have my car, I said. Back door is quicker. At the back door, the backpack slumped against the wall had a zipper half open. Inside sat a small amber bottle with a rubber dropper. No label. I didn't take it. I didn't photograph it. I wanted Lena out. The night air hit her face and she blinked. I'm fine, she said. I know, I said. Keep breathing. I got her into the car, seat back, water bottle in her hand. Jess sat behind, hand on her shoulder, whispering jokes that didn't land but still helped. I locked the doors. Hospital? Jess asked. I nodded. Urgent care first. If they're slow, ER. My hand shook. I put the car in gear, paused. The rear view held the house, windows bright, music leaking like steam. I'm going with you, Denham said at the window. If she needs to talk to someone, I'll back you. Names, who was where. You see the dots? I asked. He looked tired. I see a lot, he said. I don't always see it in time. Inside urgent care, everything was too bright. The receptionist asked questions I answered with my good student voice. We didn't say the word I didn't want to say. The nurse took her back. They asked if we wanted to call campus police. I said yes. I said it before I could wonder if people would think I was dramatic. If I was ruining a party. If I was ruining someone's night. If I was wrong. An officer took our statements. Denham added details. Times, names, which room belonged to whom, where the keys hung. He spoke like each word might matter later. They took Lena's blood. They asked what she drank. She said 2 seltzers, then a mixed. She said it like an apology. The nurse told us we did the right thing. I didn't feel like I had. I felt like I'd shoved a moving thing to the side for a second. I felt like the house on Maple kept going without us. They sent a patrol car to the house. I pictured the kitchen without us. The dots like a language everyone pretended not to speak. Hours later, when Lena had a blanket around her shoulders and a paper bracelet digging into her wrist, she looked at me, grateful and irritated. "I'm embarrassed," she said. "You're okay," I said. "We're okay." After statements and forms and phone calls, the sky started to think about morning. Denham leaned against the wall, eyes closed, still standing. "You should go home," I told him. "I will," he said, not moving. I didn't know what would happen next, if they'd test cups or question people, or if the house would be clean by noon and the dots scrubbed away with last night's jokes. I only knew the calm I'd felt in the hallway was gone, and something else had taken its place. When we finally left, the parking lot was soft with early fog. Lena slept. Jess breathed through her mouth, small whistles. Denham waved from a distance and walked into the gray. I drove slow. Every intersection looked guilty. The sun came up like it wanted to be anywhere else. I don't stay long at parties. I won't stay quiet anymore either. And if you ever see me by a staircase following the way someone looks at a cup, don't ask if I'm okay. Ask who I'm going to get. Some doors don't need keys. They need witnesses. I'm done knocking.